I like to sing, dance, pretend, and I like to have fun.
Someone was suspected of being responsible, but it was all hushed up.
I think that kid gypped me on some funds this week because I had way more fun than that. Fun. Yeah, I can just watch that kid forever. I love it. Hey, you're watching Grand Theft Audio. This is Jake Belcher. As always, with me is my buddy.
That's right, your buddy Brandt.
Buddy Brandt. Yeah, I have. I think that you
that didn't even
you
work.
came up and you gave the thumb. Okay, so there we go. Sure. May as well leave that shot up now because now you've seen that we have other people in the studio. I got a co-buddy this week. Hey, co-buddy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Make sure to speak directly into this. Bring it down to like a level where you can relax. Because Carl, I know. Okay.
All right.
Slink back in the chair a little. Relax. Okay. Now pull the microphone to you. Now that'll be wonderful. That's co-buddy Carl. It's been a while since he's been a victim of my abuse here on Grand Theft Audio. How you doing, man?
All right, man. Yeah.
Nice to have you back in studio. Been a while?
Yeah, it sure has. But I keep up and enjoy watching the shenanigans, and so glad to be back.
Well, thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you. We'll see we'll see how it goes.
Exactly.
You know, because hey, look, I'll be honest. I'm not always like the most fun, pleasant person to be around. Like, I have a very short temper and a short ability to put up with things that upset me. You know, so like it's a drag for people around me. You're a wonderful person. I know. I'm just saying. I know what a drag I can be to deal with sometimes. I'm hoping to be nice to you today.
Well, I'm hoping so too, Jake.
That's where I'm at. That's where we're both at. Okay, Brett, what do you think my chances are on being nice the entire episode?
The entire episode?
Yes.
Is
this already borderline not nice?
No. So far, so good.
Okay, good.
So far, so good.
Okay, good.
But it's only a matter of time. Well, I got to say, one of the things I'm thrilled with is an issue that we had back in the past with Carl, which I can now signal him with.
Yes.
Is I'm going to show the everybody else first, but I've got a sign. I've got a sign to remind you to get up on that goddamn mic.
It's gonna be great.
All right.
So part of the thing here is, we're on video now. So like before, when I would say, Carl, you have a stain on your shirt, it would be like the audience couldn't see and they didn't know if I was making it up. I'm not saying you have one right now. I'm just saying that in the radio world there was no proof of the stain. There was no look for all anybody knows. We could have cut your mic and I could have just gone and pretend that you were like narcoleptic and falling asleep and just being like a jerk. But now there'll be video proof of it. So I'm super excited at that new wrinkle in you being on the air with us.
All right. Well, and I think that Jake's referring to my very long-term battle with sleep disorders, which are actually sometimes involved in a field that our special guest is tied in with. Should I mention that?
Okay, we will introduce, because we have a special guest, and it is kind of odd for him to just be sitting here in the middle of all this.
The crossfire.
So you said you had a bit more chance to talk to him beforehand and before today. Why don't you handle the introduction on this one, man?
So ladies and gentlemen, very funny guy. I first saw him at the Glendale Laughs Comedy Fest earlier this year, and he's not only a comedian, he's also a neuroscientist. And so I want to welcome Ori Amir.
Hello, Ori.
Hi.
How you doing, man? Thank you for coming here.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so neuroscientist and a comedian is about the hackiest thing I've ever heard.
I know.
I mean, that's pretty much like, child abuse and like beating your own kid. Like they go together really well. Like neuroscientists and comedians is just something you think it naturally happens all the time. Is it hard to stand out in that field, being that generic?
Surprisingly difficult, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised to hear that. No, that's really weird, man. Like, you're probably
both as a humor scientist, somebody who studies humor scientifically, and as a comedian, it doesn't help as much to have this cross section.
Sure. Do you think? Okay, now that I'm talking to you, you have a very nice accent as well. Okay, so
I'm American. I do not know what you're talking about.
like South American, like
It's
some
a
other,
neuroscientist accent.
Okay, so
South
no.
American.
That's just what the scientist accent is when you picked up and you started Bunsen burners or whatever. Like this accent just started coming out.
I think so. Yeah. No. I mean that's what you train when you do a PhD. The first 4 years is basically developing a silly accent.
Well, dude, you got it, man. I don't talk to a lot of scientists, but you have nailed that part of it. Okay, look, I imagine this is horseshit. You actually had to earn it from somewhere. Like, where'd your accent really come from?
Israel.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not quite an Israeli accent. It's
Mhm.
more like half Hebrew, half German sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
But it's supposed to be Israeli accent.
Okay, look.
Ended up being half German.
So, I'm gonna have to ask a question here. This is way off the question rails, okay?
Yes,
And I don't really know where,
but I regret it.
okay, you may, man. So, like, why? Do you have any real reason, like, why people like hate Jews? Like, no, I really don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Brandon and I have talked about this a little bit lately. Like, I've seen this movie called School Ties. I think with like somebody who was like, I hate Jews, and that was like the most anti-Jewish thing I've ever seen. But I have like no reason for. I have no known reason. Like, I don't understand what the stereotype is that's against them that makes people think that they shouldn't like Jewish people. Do you have an answer for that?
So I think for any minority to be hated, I mean, first of all, you want them to be a minority, and you want them to be visible enough. So you want them to be in society around you to an extent, but not too not too visible. So people that actually interact with whatever minority it is, be it Jews or any other, tend to not generalize as much about them. Tend not to prejudice them as much. But yeah, the extent.
So no, you don't really have a reason for why people hate Jews.
I want to ask a question in regard to your accent, because you were saying that it's somewhat German. Are you half German as well? Is there German heritage in your blood?
There's German heritage, and I have the first place in the world where I spoke English to communicate was in Germany. So and it was enough to be there for just a few months, and already half of my Hebrew accent got genocided.
Well, sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's very dominant accent, is what I'm saying.
here's the good news. You just made Carl laugh a little, so now I don't look like the worst, most Hitler-rooting person he's ever seen in his life or something. I don't think you liked that question, did you, Carl? Carl, honestly, do you have a reason? Do you know why society supposedly doesn't like
I
Jewish
have no
people?
problem. So
I don't either. So
Okay.
and I don't know anybody that does. I hear like honestly, there was a movie in like the '90s where Jerry O'Donnell or something, Jerry O'Connell. I don't even remember who else was in it. Do you remember that movie School
yeah,
Ties?
Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser and Chris O'Donnell. Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen it. Do you remember what the big sticking point was to them? That like
It was just I don't know. I mean, it was people at that. It was like set in the 50s. People were just prejudiced. I don't know.
But don't they kind of pretend that it still exists now that people hate Jews and stuff? Like they're. I mean,
Okay, I think
That's
what
gotta
happened
be,
in the 19 I guess when Hitler took control, that a big part of it was kind of a jealousy thing, because the Jewish people were always, especially in Germany, most were well-to-do. They were shop owners. They were successful, and it was part of it was part of it is their religion and the community that comes with being a Jew. I mean,
they just don't like you because you're successful. So basically,
there was
the
a jealousy of it, and the fact that
We're
they
haters.
believed the Jews were the ones who ran the banks, and they were the ones who controlled all the money. I mean, it was a lot of really weird thinking back
I've
then.
heard that, but I don't know. I've never seen any proof of it. I guess
Exactly.
It just seems
It's
like
all.
The percentage of Jews in those businesses and in the top levels of those businesses was high. And it is
So you're saying that
high,
like
I
they
feel.
get smart and they become like neuroscientists and like they become like well educated.
Yeah, and more successful than me usually. But yeah, I think it's more common amongst the Jews historically, at least, and that that could be an element of it.
Well, I'm gonna let you guys out there know. Like I'm gonna let you guys know. Just like maybe stop hating the Jews. I mean,
Nice.
until you come up with like a real reason for it or something, it's like I'm sorry, man. that's happened in your life. Have you ever been the victim? Not the victim, but like even like happenstancely, like, hey, you dirty, other word for a Jewish person.
Not at all. I don't think I ever, you know.
So maybe
no-
maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know. Like
No,
maybe it's just for Brendan Fraser movies.
I don't look. I guess I don't look also very Jewish.
Yeah.
Or I don't like.
You don't. You
I
kind of look
don't
Jewish,
think-
like
yeah.
Germany.
I don't think anti-Semitism is a.
I think
big,
I'm a Jew.
You think?
I think I'm a Jew. Like I think that my mom came from Germany. Like so, my grandpa was a guy who went over and killed a whole bunch of Germans.
He was a U.S. soldier.
High fives, killed a bunch of Germans, and then my grandpa got to be the first U.S. soldier to go back to like Germany. And Life magazine followed him around and took pictures of him. Like, look at this conquering person coming back. And he went to an orphanage where like there's a whole bunch of babies from like the family that had gone in and just killed all the moms and the grandmas and the dads and they just left some babies. And he came back. He's like, oh man, I did this shit, so I'm gonna take one of these babies home with me because I feel bad. And I think that may have been like may have been Jewish.
I remember sitting around the fire at your grandfather's house, remembering him saying that story the exact way you just did.
Okay, look, he maybe didn't say grandmas were killed and stuff, but he killed the rest of them. Like,
Oh,
Right.
so you
so he
were-
killed a lot of Germans, man. And I'm also German too. So like, because that's where my family came from. Okay, look, before we get out of here, I want to cover one last thing. This sign. Have you seen this sign before?
Usually in the context of everything is okay.
Yeah, everything's
right?
okay, right? It's okay. It's just fine. This week, some very disturbing stories went out that one of my very favorite reporters, you guys have heard me talk about him here before, his name's Mike Cernovich. He got his White House press credentials, and this picture goes out of him at the podium giving the okay sign.
Who's the young lady with him?
That's another girl who got her press credentials the same way,
Okay.
the same day. I don't.
Are they saying
remember.
the same thing about her?
Yes,
Because
they're saying
she's white as well. So
yeah. So now but the problem is these people are saying that the OK. I'm going to put it right there. The OK sign. I'm not sure that screen's on anywhere because there it goes. The OK sign. That this means white power or like white pride. Like I'm going to put my fingers there and show you how that says that. See like the those three up there are like the W. It's like a WW, and then like the little circle thing comes down to make the P. So it's like they're saying white pride.
or white power.
White power. I'm 43 years old, okay? I've been making that sign since I was a baby. I've had that sign made to me since I was a baby. Never once has it meant white pride. Like
Not once.
never. I don't believe it. Like it's just they're just trying to like besmirch a very good reporter and make him look like a piece of crap. So I mean honestly, have you guys ever seen have you ever even heard the concept that this means something beyond okay?
No,
Carl,
not till this week.
Not till today, and I didn't believe that. I was of the opinion that you just expressed, but until I saw the picture. Now, when I saw the picture, it seems like they're really posing for it.
Oh, really?
It seems like.
Whoa, okay, pull that back up again. I'd like to see if that really there.
Why would they pose with this sign? Like, what reason would they?
If
have
it meant white power, wouldn't they be doing it with the same hand so it actually read white power?
Because his is backwards
Because
technically.
one would be reading white power and one would be reading
DW something.
QW.
They're not going to be that smart,
They're I don't know, man.
Well, I don't know why they'd be doing the okie dokie signal while standing at the White House briefing room podium. It's kind of a strange location for it, but.
So Carl
But
is like
Carl, they just wait. I
Carl
get why they're posing in front of it and why they're doing this. They just got their credentials. This is their first photo op at the White House in front of.
I don't know, I'd give a thumbs up or something.
Sure, but they're saying, "Hey, everything's okay."
So that's in like the gay world. That is like about stretching your anus out, sir. It's like, are you sending a message to them? No. Every person in society knows that this just means it's okay. It does not mean white power, and they're just besmirching a great name, and it's really terrible. And look, we got to go to a break. Hey, Brad. Okay, I know you're going to go to break. Can you pull up those two puddle pictures real quick?
Sure.
What we did.
I got them right here.
We got to go see one of the great performers. His name is Puddles the Clown. He has Puddles Pity Party. This is my second time seeing him very recently. This time I got an autograph, and I
Just
love
a
it.
second, I have it here. I'm
Sure.
sorry, something happened here. I don't know why.
Hey man, it's a live show. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Sometimes.
But I got an autograph from him, and he endorsed it out to me. Very personal message, and I could tell, heartfelt, genuine,
Here we go.
emotional.
Here we go.
He loves Jake. Oh, look at Puddles. He's sitting there with a little kitty. That's wonderful.
It's a kitty picture. That's why I got picked. Why I got immediately bought up by Jake.
Sure.
I also got a chance to see him live there at the Rose in Pasadena. It's a great venue. If you're in the Pasadena area, I highly recommend checking it out. But I was also lucky enough to get a picture with him, and here it is. Me in the great big chair.
So you see,
with
Brant
Puddles.
is 6'5",
Yep.
and this guy towers over him.
Yep.
Wow. Puddles is a massive.
He's like 6'11", he's almost 7 foot.
He's a big man,
Yep.
and he's a gorgeous singer. So go check out Puddles.
He looks a lot thinner in person than I think I've seen
He's
him.
lost some weight since last time. I
Okay,
saw him.
because he definitely when I got
maybe
a
his career's not going well, and he's not eating well.
when I got a chance to
don't
shake
know.
his hand, it was just like, wow, you're just not as big as he. I mean,
I don't
he's
know, man.
towering, but he's just
I
not
think
that
things could be
big.
going
How,
bad.
how big can one's career be getting as a sad clown?
You'd be shocked, man. He sells out all across the country all the time. Like,
How big was the crowd at the Rose?
how many thousand people? 2,000 people there?
I think between 1,500 and 2,000.
1,500 people.
For real?
Yeah.
It was turn away people at the door. And Carl, you don't believe the celebrities that were there. Okay, when we're standing in line, the star of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, what's her
Nia
name?
Vardalos?
Nia
You're
Vardalos
kidding
came
me.
up, and she like pushed me out of the way so she could get in line in front of me. Her and Meredith from The Office. Mark DiCarlo, the host of Studs, is out there being a loud asshole.
Wow.
You know who I met there? Lifelong fantasy. Then we're gonna go to break. Old MTV legend. His name was Randy of the Redwoods.
Oh, no way.
Fucking Randy of the Redwoods,
What?
man! And I got to meet him, and
Wow.
I got his info, and we're gonna try to get him in here on a GTA soon.
Oh, my God.
So I'm pretty
That'd be
stoked by that.
incredible.
Okay, we got to go to break, and we're gonna keep it short today because we're gonna do something special at the end. It's called "Shut This Down" and do a separate episode. So.
Hi, I'm Rob Schneider. Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt McAndrew. Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Oakley. And I'm Corey Cool.
Hi, I'm Martha Madison.
This is Slink Johnson, a.k.a. Black Jesus, b.k.a. Godzilla Lungs.
Hello, I'm Aaron Roberts.
Yo, what's up? This is Craig Wayans.
Hi, this is Brad Williams, and as you can tell, I have never gotten high.
Speedy Don.
And I am the fabulous Stephen King.
What's good? It's your boy Marcus Park, man. We keeping it lit.
I'm Money B.
What's up, y'all? This is Crazy Bone in the building.
And it's your boy Street Symphony. And you're watching.
Jason Stewart here for Zinna TV. On the show Absolutely Jason Stewart every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Big guests, everyone from the gayest to gay to the straightest to straight. David, what was his name?
He's absolutely Jason. He's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up.
And it's Mary Carey, of course, Politically Naughty with Mary Carey.
I'm always naughty. I'm always politically. My behavior is always politically
naughty.
I'm never politically correct. Dr. Drew, hi. Oh, I'm so.
Guys, how are you?
It's all teary-eyed, Doctor.
I know. She wished she could live at rehab.
But only if Dr. Drew's there. Obviously, if someone like, because groping might be inappropriate. But I like the flirting and stuff.
When I walked in, you shoved my head in your.
No! Are you gonna sue me?
Get Politically Naughty with Mary Carey, Mondays at 4 p.m.
I start. Hi, I'm Moxie.
And I'm Nicole. And we're the ladies of Suicide Girls Radio, the world's leading BYOB radio show. Pour a glass of your favorite tipple and tune in on Wednesday nights between 8 and 9 p.m. as we discuss life, liberty, and the pursuit of free nipples. Oh, just flash it would be funny, wouldn't it? People think flashing your tits is easy, right? And it's actually kind of hard.
Yes, I'm a mathematician and I figured out the equation of what goes on in a man's head when we decide whether to approach a girl or not. It is the attractiveness of the girl divided by the perceived probability of rejection. Squared. Times 100. It's really mostly about the perceived probability of rejection. Which, as we all know, is equal to the inverse of confidence. Confidence, of course, equals to the attractiveness of the last girl you slept with
divided by the time in weeks since that happened. And that number doesn't go all the way to 0 if it becomes too small. You use instead the MCL, the I'm not a complete loser constant. Which in my case equals to spend all night calculating it. Thank you. And that's the whole story. That's everything that goes on in a man's head is right here on this board. Women are more complicated, I've been told. Through the ages, many philosophers have argued that they could not understand women. And by that they meant they couldn't figure out how to get laid. But I think I'm onto something. I think I'm starting to work out the equation. Bear with me. Here's what I think goes on in a woman's head when she decides whether to sleep with a guy or not.
Oh, right. That's some comedy from Ori Amir.
There's
Ori,
a good cliffhanger over there.
Yeah, that clip's longer, and you have others that we've been laughing at as well that they can find. Where can people go and see more of them?
I think it's YouTube/Ori Amir or Ori X Amir, one of the two.
Or if you found that one entertaining, just go to the website, oriamir.com, and there is a videos link, and that's one of them on there. That's how I found it, and I thought it was hilarious. I'm sorry, I was laughing out loud multiple times. So I
in public at the whiskey yesterday, like people were like what's he laughing? What's, I mean, it was it was causing a commotion. That's ORIAMIR.com.
That is correct.
All right, great. So yeah, people can check that out. I want to. We brought you in because you're a neuroscientist. We got into that at the top. I kind of goofed on it. But how does it work together with laughter, and how does this kind of the whole thing come together? Like the neuroscience of laughter.
Yes. So I was a neuroscientist when I started doing comedy, and so I figured I'd try to combine the two in some way. Look at what goes on in the brain when you enjoy humor or when you come up with something funny. In fact, I noticed that nobody has ever studied comedians' brains. What goes on in a comedian brains when he comes up with a funny idea. So
it's interesting.
I took a bunch of comedians from the groundlings, a bunch of stand-up comedians, as well as a bunch of amateurs and a bunch of graduate students as controls, and we had them improvise comedy in the MRI.
So, like while they were strapped to like an MRI machine, or they had wires on them on stage?
Most of them did not. I didn't have to strap all of them. Some of them tried to escape, so I did. But otherwise, no.
Did they have monitors on them?
They were inside the MRI machine, so it's like a tube. You lie in that, and yeah.
Now, was the idea that they had to come up with fresh comedy while they were in there?
Yeah. So I wanted to see the neural correlates of coming up with a funny idea, basically. So they actually had to come up with funny ideas.
Did anybody come up with any great bits? Like
a few did. A few came up, not bits, but sort of the one-liners. So we gave them New Yorker cartoons, and they had to come up with sort of
the captions.
A caption for it. Yeah.
That's interesting. I would struggle to come up with a way of finding out how someone writes a joke. But that seems like a good way of giving people inspiration to make.
Especially if it's the MRI, like the tube thing, right? They're actually inside the thing, so you're kind of contained. So to take your mind off of it, to give them something to look at and go, okay, now come up with the caption for it. That's a great way of getting them. Because I mean, I know several people. My mom's had to have an MRI, and she did not enjoy being. You've had one, so you've been stuffed in the tube too. Okay,
it's unpleasant.
It's not something you would normally be joking during.
No, not really. But okay, like in most situations, you have something serious that's going on when you go into the MRI. Like in this situation, like I'm sure they knew, hey, you got to make a joke when you go in there. That wasn't like, hey, make a joke and we're gonna cure your disease. It was like, hey, we're gonna you'll just see how funny it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you actually find a provable result? Did you see a sparkle across the brain or something to say, yeah, that's when the joke happened?
I see some convincing evidence as to the regions involved, the brain regions involved. So when you compare professional comedians to amateurs and controls, you see that the more experience you have doing comedy, the less activity you see in the medial prefrontal cortex, which is a regions that sort of top down try to direct the process of coming up with something funny, as opposed to organically follow the flow of your spontaneous associations, and more activity in the anterior temporal regions, where is sort of high level semantic regions where remote associations can converge meaningfully. So
okay, so look, I gotta ask a question.
Yeah.
How did you did you have someone fund the study or something? Like, is there like the Jerry Lewis Foundation, or was there like some type of backers you're able to find to make this come true and happen?
So it was a part of a bigger study that was funded. So that wasn't the main thing that was funded. But if you want to study the neural basis of creativity in the brain in general, I think humor, coming up with something funny, is a great case of it that lends itself to probing, because of several elements. You can come up with the idea relatively on the spot, so it's an event you can look at, as opposed to the slower process of composing a symphony or what have you. And you can evaluate the quality of the result more easily, whether it's funny or not. And you have clear experts and novices, and you have people who have no experience doing it, but are still capable of doing something similar. Or everybody makes jokes, so control subjects would still be able to do the task. So all of those elements, I believe, make humor creation a good case study for creativity. So if you think it's important to study creativity, you can argue, because for some reason people look down on comedy. It's like, oh, get funding for this, you shouldn't fund this.
Sure, it's hard.
But no, creativity is important, and humor is a good case study for that. So that's my argument against.
Super interesting idea, man. I would never have thought of a scientist trying to study comedy and how synapses and everything all goes together and how it all swirls about. But I'm glad someone's doing it, and I'm impressed that you're able to find someone to pay you to do it. Or I don't want to ask what the bigger study was about, that you got to kind of whittle this part of it off. But good job for figuring out how to do that, man. Okay, so people are going to go to oriamir.com and find the comedy stuff. Is there any place to find the sciencey stuff?
Yeah, I guess there's some links to a Guardian article about this, which then links to the actual paper, I believe.
Okay, great. So yeah, this is provable.
Yeah.
2 clicks and they can look right at this report,
Yes.
right? They go to Ori Amir, and then they say, hey, this is science stuff, and they click on that, and then they click on a link to the report. So guys, don't take our word for it. Go take the internet's word for it. It is their job to educate you, and you should take advantage of it. In fact, commercial break right now, and I want you to ignore these commercials completely. And, just go to oriamir.com and learn about this stuff. And look, leave the phone kind of open to the side, and you'll see when I come back on, I'll wave and I'll say, hello, everybody. And when that happens, come back. But until then, go to oriamir.com and, learn about him. So what are you waiting for? I mean, the commercial break is starting right now.
seek and destroy. Searching, seek and destroy. Scream for me, whiskey. Master of puppets, I'm pulling your strings, twisting your mind and smashing your dreams.
Anytime she goes away, wondering which time she's gone.
Some Motorhead. Anybody want to hear some Motorhead? It comes on again. You know the song about. The pleasure is to play. It makes no difference what you say.
Rabbit fur, which is illegal in America.
You have an illegal hat on.
Yeah, fuck the rabbit. I killed it.
Smell the magic, motherfuckers! Her glance hits me like lightning. They say that girl is fast and frightening.
Hello, people. That's the cue to set down your internet and stop looking at OriAmir.com and coming back here to Grand Theft Audio. This is Jake Belcher with my co-buddies,
Brant Thoman,
Carl Kozlowski,
and our special guest,
Ori Amir.
Thank you for being here. All right, because I had you on, I was inspired to show my very favorite foreign video of the week. This was sent over to me by my brother. This is like a Hercules strongman. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure what country he comes from because the newscasters who are setting up the story, it's gibberish to me. It could be Romanian, it could be Turkish, it could be Slovakian. I have zero concept idea where it's from. And I'm not going to make you watch the first 20 seconds. It's just... It's words that don't make any sense. So, like, look, it doesn't make any sense to me. Make any sense to you either because like you're watching an English language show, so I don't believe you're gonna understand this any better than I do. I don't believe it. Okay, but we're gonna watch it and you're gonna understand more about this amazing foreign He-Man.
All right,
okay,
here we go.
I want to say what's happening here. Okay, so apparently this strong man goes to different towns and he agrees to fight groups of men at the same time. And
Dude, that's the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, look, he's not the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, he does kind of have some of the attributes. But they try to
it's Tatanka.
They try to set him up as like some type of foreign pro wrestling guy. I wish this wasn't going on. At least having Sorbo. But people like are super excited to see this guy. He's old and stuff. How is this guy taking on 35 men at the same time? Have you ever heard anything like this in Israel? Is there some guy who runs from neighborhood to neighborhood fighting groups of men at the same time?
I probably wouldn't hear about him if he existed. So
okay.
Well, here, what I find amusing about it as well is just like it's like he has to run to this. Everybody else is already waiting for him. He's got to wear himself out before.
Well, he's got to sell tickets, man. He's got to make money. But look at these little guys. I mean,
you sure this isn't wrestling?
This is supposedly legitimate sport.
All he's trying to do is grab a hold of one of them that he can like. All right, there's one.
Okay, look. While I'm realizing, it seems that they're only allowed to maybe jump kick him or something. Like it seems like there's a lot of running through the air trying to.
I feel like they're just afraid of him.
Yeah, and they don't look like the most stout people. I mean, it's not 35 of us, Carl.
No, it's not 35 of the best men in town. It's 35 guys that they found in alleys and.
But that's a lot of guys to fight at once. Carl, do you think you could take on 35 guys?
I don't think I could take on one. I don't know.
I mean, even like most like degenerate-looking people, like some of these people are pretty scrawny. I could probably like that guy in the red shirt. Is he even trying?
Well, that's the thing. Is like, guys, if you're going to take him on as a group, you got to attack him like a mob. You got to all get up and gang up on him.
They might only be allowed jump kicks as I'm looking more at it, man. Because look, everybody's trying to kind of levitate in the air and kick him at the same time. Look, it's nice that we live in a society where we don't get tricked by a strong streets to paying for things all the time. Okay, I bet these people probably paid $2-3 a ticket to watch this fake He-Man fight 35 weak nerds.
Oh,
in
totally.
town, okay?
What do you say? It looks like about 500 to 600 people there. If everyone put in $1, that's good money on the day for the
he's
guy.
made some cash.
Oh, he's not out of the ring yet.
Is this wailing on this guy? Oh, I mean, he knocked himself out. Like, these kicks are just terrible. Like, I don't know, man. Carl, would you like to go to an event like this?
I don't know. It would be interesting, for, maybe once.
Yeah,
just to say I was there.
You gotta see this video.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go from that's a very cheap ticket. Let's go to some people who spent some money on a very expensive ticket. This week there was a big social media concert fail as Fyre Fest became a subject of ridicule. You've never seen a group of people who society is more ready to make fun of than the millennials who spent $12,000 a ticket to go to. Brett, pull up that ad one more time.
Sure.
This is what they advertise, okay? Hot chicks on the beach, hanging out, and like beautiful cabanas to live in, and like the most delicious food you've ever seen in your entire life. $12,000 to go see Blink 182.
I know it's they're the biggest, the only name.
Well, no, they had
Ja Rule, right?
They had other, but they also had several other artists that were lined up who wound up backing out. But I think
everybody
Blink 182 backed out the day before.
Right, but there were several others, the other big names that had started to back out as well. They saw what was going on and saw that this was just a giant scam.
So bring up some of these images, what's actually happening. Like from their food, which was promised to be like gourmet, luxury, deliciousness, and it just ended up being some cheese and like some bread.
Cheese sandwich.
And people are like, this is gross and disgusting. Hey, look, honestly, that's probably better than what the people who live there they probably tried, right? I mean, $12,000, there was a budget. Someone was able to put money into a
sandwich
box
with some Kraft singles.
I love this next one because these are the cabanas.
And those are the mattresses that people were supposed to sleep on. Like
right, $12,000. It's supposed to be
It's like a cushion.
Coachella. It's supposed to be a Coachella for the wealthy.
cushion.
Yeah, it is.
That is a park bench cushion. That is not a mattress that I've spent $12,000 to sleep on. But really, the thing is that people's excitement of making fun of these people and the glee that people got in these people wasting their money and having such a terrible experience. That was very surprising to me.
I mean, I think they enjoy seeing rich people scammed for a change. It's usually them
I
being scammed.
I think that's a big part of it. Is that if you were dumb enough to spend that much money on the first time of something like this out, there's no guarantees. I know there's a $100 million lawsuit that's now pending against
people
the.
can sue. I mean,
that's the one thing they can do. And this was the last picture you had for it.
Yeah, just filthy tents and garbage.
There is a fire hydrant over there, right?
Well, I think it's
I
just
don't think it's a working one. I think Jake's right. I think it's totally fake. Just
the
to kind
sewage was the first thing to go. That was the problem.
They couldn't even get the toilets off the back of the trucks. There's pictures of trucks that just have porta potties all lined up in them. They didn't have the manpower to actually unload the toilets so people could use them.
Well, I also remember that one of the videos I saw was the people who were actually on the plane ready to leave, and they get an announcement over a thing saying that the promoters have canceled this flight and they don't know how they're going to get them off the island. These people were stuck on this island for a couple of days apparently. So it's just a giant clusterfuck.
It's kind of hilarious though, right? We enjoy it.
Sure, it's very hilarious.
'Cause fuck rich people. All right, hey, that's actually the end of our episode today. We're going to direct people to learn more about you at
OriAmir.com.
All right, Carl, pimp out for yourself.
I'm going to be doing a show on the 12th, the Friday after this. So I don't know whether they're already touted, but it's at the Open Space in Burbank. Look it up on Facebook on the 12th of May.
Excellent.
Stand up.
As for us, we're going to say there is no Tuesday show next week. We don't have Ultimate Jam Night Live at the Whiskey. They have a special event going on that week. But we will say go out to the Viper Room Jam on Tuesday night and catch Derek Day. He's got a special show going on that night. If you don't want to do that and you're more in the mood for comedy, since I think we're going to try to hit both, we're going to head to the Comedy Store and catch Roast Battle on Tuesday night. So if you want to hang out or something, come out and see us there. Brent, anything to pimp out?
No, not exactly. Just want to
say goodbye. All right, there you go. That's official. He was there.
We're
going to log out of this. We're going to do an episode called a GTA. Hey, what's in that box? And we'll come back in about 2 minutes with another episode. So your life still has meaning. Don't kill yourself yet. Boom, 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 boom.